What's up, everyone? It's your host, Ghost, coming to you live with another wonderful video. Yes, woo! Another wonderful video today. How's everyone doing? I am here, awake, a little late. Yeah, about 20 minutes. Sorry. I didn't wake up at 45 like I was planning to. But I woke up. I'm not dying. I think at this time, I think now I'm going to start my show around 7. That's looking like it's the best time, especially when I work late. So I think I'm gonna stick with 7 a.m. ish. So time change on the on my video on my streams gonna be like 7 to 8 ish. When I can. So I think I'm gonna start doing that from now on. Oh, whoop. There we go. There we are. There we are. All right. But yeah, so that's going to be plan. If you haven't already, make sure you like the video and give me a follow. Rumble.com/with-ghost. Check out gaming channel, Gaming with Ghost. That's rumble.com/gaming with Ghost. And then obviously follow me on X at official W Ghost. That's the best way to get updates, see when I go live, etc. All right. So today, what I'm going to talk about is we finally have a Speaker of the House elected. We'll look at a few clips of his history so far. Just a few clips. Apparently, clips that people think are fairly important when it comes to this individual. And then Jamal Bowman, the guy who pulled the fire alarm, has been charged with a misdemeanor and he's pled guilty to it. So we'll read that article. At least, and then Maine has had an active shooter. So we'll look at that. Apparently, there's 15 killed, up to 50 injured. We'll look at some of his apparent history. And then surprisingly, someone tweets something about an assault weapons ban day after. The day after or the day before? I think it was the day before. So we'll look at that. And then Shia Raichik tweeted another update. Or not another, but update on her being labeled or put in the ADL's glossary of extremism. And then we got another video on those 2 teens that killed the retired cop, and kind of shows their arrogance of the situation and kind of speaks to their character. And then apparently Biden is losing ground to Trump in a state. We'll check that out. And then Trump is called to testify for the first time in his New York civil trial and was fined for violating the gag order. And then Ghislaine Maxwell apparently is planning to release 8 names. Actually, that's all I really got for that. I'll maybe Google it, see if there's anything more about it. And then finally, posters at an elementary school in Colorado are being hung. It's directs them to a crisis hotline where they can talk to a strange person, a strange adult, about their gender without their parents finding out. So sorry. There we go. So yeah, there we go. I just googled a quick article, so got a little more on the Ghislaine Maxwell. So let's get into it. So this is our new Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson. He just got elected yesterday. So there we go. We finally have a speaker. So now the pro temp of the Senate isn't next in line. Now we got our next in line after the vice president, of course. For the line of succession. So, there we go. Finally. After forever, we finally got it. So this is who it is. Cool. All right. Now we're going to watch a couple of his so-called videos of this guy. They're clips of, his time on, in the Congress. I don't know. It's I don't know. It's apparently videos people feel very are important. So let's listen to them.
Chair, I recognize the gentleman from Louisiana.
Secretary Mayorkas, we have the frustrating responsibility on this committee of providing oversight of your agency, but I have to be honest and tell you, I'm not sure exactly what you do at the Department of Homeland Security other than great harm. On your watch, the data is pretty clear. We've had record levels of illegal immigration, a rapid decline in deportations, skyrocketing fentanyl deaths across our country, and the Secret Service, which is a DHS component, can't determine who left cocaine at the White House. In the middle of all this, you created this Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Agency, CISA, which is a division of DHS. And it's one of the Biden administration agencies that colluded with and coerced the social media companies to censor Americans' protected free speech online. That's specifically detailed in a 155-page court opinion that came out of the federal court in Louisiana in the landmark litigation of Missouri v. Biden. Have you read that court opinion?
Congressman, I have not, and the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency does not censor speech.
Okay, well, that's the court found otherwise, and it's really curious to me. Actually, it's quite alarming that you haven't read the opinion, because your agency is listed in this opinion. The federal court looked at volumes of evidence over months of litigation, and they determined, among other things, that if the allegations made by the plaintiffs, the states in this case, are true, and hold on, the preliminary injunction was granted against your agency, sir, and other Biden administration agencies, including the DOJ and FBI, the court said it involves the most massive attack against free speech in United States history. And you're telling me this opinion issued July 4th has not reached your desk? No one's briefed you on it?
Oh, I have been briefed on the Missouri litigation.
Okay, but you haven't taken the time to read it yet.
Congressman,
no, hold on. Have you read it or not?
I have read parts of it, Congressman.
Oh, parts of it. Did you read the parts where it said that this is Orwellian and dystopian and that your agency is involved in a massive cover-up of specifically conservatives' free speech online?
Congressman, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency is not involved in such conduct.
Okay, well, the court found otherwise, and you stand there under oath and you give us these answers that we know are not true because this is demonstrably untrue. I'm suggesting to you that you're saying things to us under oath that are proven by the record to be untrue. Let me ask you.
So, you see him kind of going after THS secretary. It seems to be, going after him. Going after him, I mean, in a sense of holding his feet to the fire. So that's kind of good. It's good. It's something we want to see in a Speaker of the House.
About this specifically, was created to, we call it the Misinformation and Disinformation Subcommittee of CISA. Are you familiar with that? MDM, the MDM subcommittee, you're familiar with that?
Congressman, I am very well aware of the threat of disinformation emanating from adverse nations.
Are you familiar with the subcommittee? Just answer the question.
I am.
Okay. Does it still exist?
Congressman, are you speaking of the...
Does the MDM subcommittee still exist?
I would have to get back to you on that.
Okay. All right. Kind of a big deal in your agency. I'm kind of shocked that you don't know the answer to that. Can you define what misinformation is?
Congressman, misinformation is false information that is disseminated to
Excellent. Who determines what is false?
Congressman, our focus.
No,
Our
who
focus-
determines what is false in your agency? If you're going to pull something off the internet and collude with a social media platform to make sure Americans don't see it, who determines what's false?
Congressman, we don't do that.
That's not true. That is not true. That is not what the court has found. This is not a Republican talking point. This is what the documents show. We've had people testify under oath that say, and you just defined the term, you're telling me that you don't know who determines what is false?
Congressman, what we do at CISA, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, is identify the tactics that adverse nation states use to weaponize disinformation.
Okay, what is
The American
disinformation? What is disinformation?
Disinformation is inaccurate information.
Who determines what's inaccurate? Who determines what's false? Do you understand the problem here? The reason the framers of our Constitution did not create an exception for quote unquote false information from the First Amendment is because they didn't trust the government to determine what it is. And you have whole committees of people.
So this is very interesting. He's really, what I like is he doesn't seem to really be putting on a show. You know, you see some of these Republicans and Democrats alike. They're putting on a show just for the cameras. This guy, he's not screaming, he's not crying. He's just asking very direct questions, and you know, he's not letting up on the kind of non-answers. Which, you know, it's good to see. This is good to see. So, I mean, we're gonna keep watching this, but just listening to this, and you know, it's very concise, very, you know, do you know? And what I like is he's not letting these guys like babble on, because you'll see some of these hearings, and these guys just babble on. You know, people answer babble on, giving non-answers, blah blah blah. He's like, dude, I don't care about any of that. I just want my question answered. Who determines misinformation? Okay, well, that's not true because obviously, so
People in your agency trying to determine what they define as false or misinformation.
That is not true.
Well, then what is true?
What we
Please
do
enlighten us.
is what we do is we disclose the tactics that adverse nation states are utilizing to weaponize
No, sir.
disinformation.
No, sir. The court found specifically, it's a finding of fact that is not disputed by the government defendants, the Biden administration, your agency, the FBI, or DHS, not in the litigation. They determined you and all of your cohorts made no distinction between domestic speech and foreign speech. So don't stand there and tell me under oath that you only focused on adversaries around the world, foreign actors. That's not true.
Congressman, the Missouri case, litigation to which you refer, is the subject of continuing litigation.
But the facts were not disputed, and I so regret that I'm out of time. I hope I get some more yielded. I yield back.
you know, this is a really good clip, honestly. He's really concise, and he's not doing that thing that you see where he. But anyways, he's not doing that thing where, you know, he's not putting on a show. At least it doesn't seem like a clear show to me. And you know, like I said, you see some of these Congress people, and they're clearly just putting on a show. They don't give a shit. It doesn't seem like a show to me, because he doesn't go over his time. He respects time. I mean, I don't watch these in full because they're boring as fuck. But I've seen it plenty of times where they're going off on a tangent, you know, yelling, screaming, and then they're like, they go over their time, and you know, they're like, hey, you know, chairman, whatever, is like, I need to take the time back, then just keep going. Let me finish my point. And then, but he goes, is like, you know, no, this isn't true. You guys didn't do this. This isn't, you know, and I like that he's bringing up facts. He's not saying like a bunch of like crap. He's just like, no, this is indisputable. This isn't a talking point. This is indisputable. The judicial system, the government isn't contesting this whatsoever, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So why are you trying to misrepresent? And then as soon as his time's on, he's like, dude, he gets frustrated. He's like, you know, this is incorrect, but I'm out of time. I can't question you anymore. I yield my time. So that's good to see, you know. All right, let's see this next clip. I'm liking what I see. I do see something happened the other day I didn't like, but so far, like, you know, I like what I see.
Mr. Chairman, I have a unanimous consent request.
Gentleman from Louisiana is recognized.
Seek unanimous consent to enter into the record a letter dated January 12, 2021 by Louisiana Attorney General Jeff Landry, where he decries all political violence and calls for an end to that and asks for respect for all political viewpoints.
Without objection.
Another
so
thing
entered.
we can examine because he's not here. Very
No,
good.
you can
Thank
examine it. It's a document. He's gonna.
No,
enter into the
examine
record.
him for what he wrote and the intent behind what he said.
Well, I would
But-
just.
okay,
I would
go
just
on.
point out that that's unanimous consents are for documents, and we got the document
Mr.
right here
Chairman,
that he handed to you.
Mr. Chairman, I would ask unanimous
The chair
consent.
now recognizes Ms.
Mr.
Wasserman
Chairman,
Schultz
I-
for her
I
follow.
What
have
the
a
fuck is this
unanimous
chick's
consent
problem? He
request.
goes up. All right, so let's just watch it. So he's got this,
Not examine 'cause
not
he's
very important.
examine 'cause he's not- 'cause he's-
So she's like, "Oh, you can't examine because he's not here," and he goes over.
And the
And
intent-
look.
the-
Hold on. I just want to turn off because that's not important. So let's just watch this. So he politely puts it right there. He just politely goes. He puts it right there and everything. She apparently gets all uppity. Miss Pulaski goes back, marches over, and just flings it at him for no fucking reason. Like, like a petulant child. Like, and you know, like I said, he politely just, you know, drops it off, hands it over, no big deal. And then like it was just dumb, like just like a child. That was child behavior right there. That was childish behavior. Like, yeah, I don't like this piece of paper. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. All right, so a little more history. This is just based on a tweet, so I don't know how accurate it is, but apparently he's America's first and MAGA ally, I think, of the House Freedom Caucus. His mentor is Jim Jordan. He served as legal defense for Trump during both impeachment trials. Voted against all Ukraine spending after the initial bill. He has an F rating from Republicans for Ukraine, objected to certifying 2020 election, called to arrest Pelosi after she tore up the State of the Union. All right. Now here's the thing. I'm liking what I see. I really do. But here's the thing, although he voted against Ukraine bill after, he also ended up voting or saying the first thing that they're going to take up is funding for Israel. That's the first thing we're going to end up apparently taking up. So, if you may not like that, if you're not all the way for the the Israel Hamas thing. Let's see. Hold on. I don't remember who did the tweet that I'm thinking of. Okay. So yeah. So new House Speaker. Okay, hold on. Since this is such a short video. Okay. This is a short video, so we will just check it out real quick and then I'll move on to the rest of my shit. Okay, so here we go.
Extraordinary crisis right now. And the world needs us to be strong. They need us to remember our creed and our admonition. Turmoil and violence have rocked the Middle East and Eastern Europe. We all know it. And tensions continue to build in the Indo-Pacific. The country demands strong leadership of this body, and we must not waver. Our nation's greatest ally in the Middle East is under attack. The first bill that I'm going to bring to this floor in just a little while will be in support of our dear friend Israel, and we're overdue in getting that done. We're going to show not only Israel, but the entire world that the barbarism of Hamas that we have all seen play out on our television screens is wretched and wrong. And we are going to stand for the good in that conflict.
Now, here's the thing. If you're for Israel, then, you know, you're probably down with this. If you're for Israel, or you know, you're down for this. If you're anti-Israel, you probably don't like this. All right. Anyway, sorry. But yeah, if you're for this, you're sorry, getting distracted here. But yeah, if you're for Israel, then you're probably down with them. If you're not, I don't think that should have been the first one. I think our first concern should be our southern border. I think that should be our very first one that we should be dealing with. I understand, you know, the whole, we'll have to talk, you know, we'll have to do something about it. Israel is an ally, so I'm not surprised aid is going to them at all. I don't think anyone should be surprised whether you agree with Israel or not. They are an ally of ours. Maybe not the best of allies, but they are an ally nonetheless. So, but that's that at that point. What I've seen, I like, you know, I'm not liking the Israel thing. Not because I'm against Israel or for Israel. I don't really, at this point, I really don't care. In all honesty, when it comes to Israel, there's, you know, like, I don't care. I mean, it's not on my top level issues. I think the first thing we definitely should be dealing with is the securing of our borders. That should have been the, you know, that should be our first thing. Now, it's very possible to secure the Speaker House vote. He, a condition was that the first thing brings up is Israel. So that could very well be it, where he's like, hey, look, I want your vote. What is it going to take to get your vote? And a bunch of people said, look, the first thing I want you to do when you get elected is to bring a vote for sending aid to Israel. So he may be just doing that in a sense, you know, just to fulfill an obligation. I don't know. We will see. But again, I think the very first thing we should be dealing with is our own defense, and we should be securing our border. And then after our during that, we should also be securing our elections. Okay, I think it's something we should be doing for sure. Either putting in like a voter ID laws before the next election or whatever. That's what we should be doing. But yeah, whatever. But you know, like I said, what I'm seeing so far, what I've seen him do so far, and his apparent voting record, I like what I see. I do like what I see. So, you know, but we'll see. Time will only tell with you know, Congress people or politicians. Time will only tell. All right. So, Jamal Bowman, you guys remember Jamal Bowman, right? He's the guy who pulled the fire alarm to disrupt proceedings in the Senate. You guys remember that, right? Well, he just got charged, and he pled guilty to misdemeanor for pulling fire alarm in a Capitol building. It's interesting because all he got was a misdemeanor for pulling a firearm. What about disrupting proceedings intentionally? I didn't think that was ever going to happen. I'm surprised he even got charged with pulling a fire alarm. I think the fact that, you know, it was caught on camera with the, you know, him obviously and clearly deliberately pulling that fire alarm is the only reason why. Oh shit. It's the only reason why he got even got charged with anything whatsoever dealing with a firearm. Hold on, gotta do my pop out here because I forgot to do it, just in case someone messaged me. So I'm surprised we even got that, but still, misdemeanors what? Slap on the wrist. Okay, cool. Make sure it's actually fucking recording. But anyways, he pled guilty, got charged. So, I mean, we got a little victory, not much. It is just a misdemeanor, so it's not a big deal. All right, so the alarm was set off September 30th in the Cannon office building last month as Republicans sought to initiate voting on a spending measure to keep the government open. Representative Jamal Bowman, New York, indicated Wednesday that he will plead guilty. Oh, saying he will plead. He hasn't really actually pled. He's saying he will plead guilty to a misdemeanor charge for pulling a fire alarm in a congressional building on Capitol Hill last month. Bowman has agreed to pay the maximum fine of $1,000 for one misdemeanor count of falsely pulling a firearm, a charge that carries a maximum penalty of 6 months in jail. He will also provide a formal apology to Capitol Police. I think you should go to jail for 6 months and then kicked out of office. I am responsible for activating a fire alarm. I will be paying a fine issued. I look forward to these charges being ultimately dropped, Bowman said in a statement Wednesday. A spokesperson for the Washington, D.C. Attorney General's office said in a separate statement that Bowman is pleading guilty and has agreed to pay a maximum fine. Bowman's office said he made an agreement with the Attorney General's office that would lead to the charges being withdrawn in 3 months on the condition he pays a fine and submit the apology letter. The alarm was set off September 30th to the Cannon House office building as Republican lawmakers sought to kick off a vote on a spending measure to keep the government open. In a statement hours after the incident, Bowman said he activated the alarm by mistake after coming across a door that was typically open for votes but would not open that day. I am embarrassed to admit I activated. This is so dumb. I don't think I heard this one. I am embarrassed to admit I activated the fire alarm mistakenly thinking it would open the door. I regret this and sincerely apologize for any confusion this caused, he said at the time. That is so dumb, really. Like, that's really, really dumb. He's like, oh, I thought it would open the doors. It says fire alarm right there. It doesn't say door opener, you fucking idiot. Or liar, actually. He's not an idiot. He's just a fucking liar. After the vote, Bowman said he also met with the sergeant at arms and Capitol Police at their request and explained what happened. I want to be very clear. This was not me in any way trying to delay any vote. Bullshit, Bowman said. My hope is no one will make more of this than it was. No, it's bullshit. House Administration Committee Chairman Brian Stiles, Republican of Wisconsin, said Wednesday that Bowman's excuse does not pass the sniff test, arguing that Bowman fled the scene and had not seized multiple opportunities to alert the Capitol Police of his mistake. In a charging affidavit released Wednesday, investigators said that he had reviewed security camera and that Bowman can be seen pushing multiple doors that would not open before looking at the emergency fire alarm pull station, and upon seeing it, reached out and pulled down the fire alarm. Bowman can also be seen jogging as he leaves the building and does not stop to say anything to uniformed officers. He passes as he enters the Capitol minutes later. According to the affidavit, it also said that the building was evacuated for about 90 minutes before it was reopened after no threat was identified. A Capitol Police spokesperson said in a statement at the time the police would investigate. In a statement Wednesday, Capitol Police said the investigation was complete and that a probable cause warrant has been submitted to the Attorney General's office. What the hell is going on here? Sorry, something random happened. Sorry. In a statement Wednesday, it said that the investigation was complete and that a probable cause arrest warrant has been submitted to Washington Attorney General's office. Our agents gathered all the evidence, packaged it up, and sent the case with charges to prosecutors for their consideration. Representative Liz McClain, Republican of Michigan, who is secretary of the House Conference, wrote on X that she planned to introduce a resolution to censor Bowman and remove him from all committee assignments for the rest of the 118th Congress for activating the alarm. So there you go. Look, that is excuse is bullshit. Like, is okay, he's seen multiple times trying to open doors. Then he looks at a fire alarm and pulls it. What? That doesn't make any sense. That makes no sense to me. But all he's getting is a misdemeanor. And nothing to do with impeding proceedings whatsoever. So in Maine, there's a mass shooting. And apparently he's still at large. Sorry. I think he's still at large. Yeah, so far he's still at large. Okay, yeah, so he's still at large. This guy. So if you're in Lewiston County, Lewiston, Maine, be on the lookout. So at least 15 killed, up to 50 injured in shootings in Lewiston, Maine. A gunman is at large after opening fire at a bowling alley and restaurant in Lewiston on Wednesday evening, officials say. Excuse me. A large manhunt is underway for a gunman who opened fire at a Lewiston, Maine bar and bowling alley Wednesday evening in what police call mass shootings. A mass shooting. What the fuck, NBC? The suspect has not been identified, but a man called a person of interest, Robert R. Card, 40 of Bowman, was sought after the shooting shortly before 7 p.m. Card is considered armed and dangerous, Maine State Police said in a notice. If seen, people should not approach Card or contact with him. And the number of victims remained unclear from the officials on the record. Maine Department of Public Safety Commissioner Michael Shawshuk said late Wednesday that there were multiple casualties, but did not specify a number. The number of victims remain unclear from officials on the record. The number of people believed to be killed in the shooting is 15 to 20, and as many as 50 may be injured, according to law enforcement sources. Lewiston police said that there was mass shootings at. There was a mass shooting. God damn, what is with this? And it's at Schmedji's Bar and Spare Time Recreation. Spare Time is a bowling alley. Photos released by law enforcement as they searched for a suspect showed a man with a hooded sweatshirt, and a black rifle with what appears to be a scope. President Joe Biden, U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland were following developments. Biden's info calls to what the fuck, NBC? What is with this goddamn grammar? Biden in phone calls to Maine on a phone call to Maine's governor and member of Congress pledged the full support of the federal government. A vehicle that had been sought in the wake of the shooting was found in Lisbon, a town around 7 miles southeast of Lewiston. Residents in Lewiston, nearby Auburn and Lisbon, were told to shelter in place, keep their doors locked Wednesday. All right, and then this is what we know. 15 to 20 people have been killed, up to 50 may be injured, according to law enforcement sources. Police named Robert Card, 40, a person of interest in connection with the shootings at Schmenge's Bar and Spare Time Recreation. Officials have urged residents in Lewiston and Auburn to shelter in place. Lewiston police said a manhunt is underway for a person allegedly connected to the shootings. The Androscoggin County Sheriff's Office released photos of a man with a rifle. Lewiston is a city around 37,000, almost 30 miles north of Portland. Okay. So there we go. Hold on. Sorry, hold on. Hold on. So this is the photo. It's a photo that has been so that's a photo right there. So Robert Card is a person of interest and probably more than likely a person who did it, as he's clearly seen standing with a rifle in the video or in a picture. So the person of interest in the Maine mass shooting that left at least 22 people dead is okay. So now it's at least 22. It's a trained firearm instructor who spent 2 weeks in a mental health facility over the summer, according to law enforcement sources. Robert Card, 40, was the subject of a massive manhunt in connection with the horrific carnage in the city of Lewiston on Wednesday night, the local police announced. Card should be considered armed and dangerous, the department said in a Wednesday night post. Please contact law enforcement if you are aware of his whereabouts. Card is from Bowdoin, Maine, and is believed to be an Army reservist stationed out of Soco, Maine, sources told the Post. He suffered from mental health issues, including repeatedly reporting hearing voices and threatening to shoot up the military base in Soco, sources said. Over the summer, he was committed to a mental health facility and released after a 2-week stay, sources additionally said. So that's who Robert Card is. We don't know for a fact, but the guy who more than likely committed the act. But that could be wrong. That could, he may have actually ended up going in and trying to defend the people that were attacked, for all we know. Now, shortly after, or shortly before, a day ago, I mean, with just a sheer coincidence, of course, Kamala Harris tweeted this and is encouraging this. Congress must pass an assault weapons ban. President Joe Biden will sign it. Vice President Kamala Harris. Now, coincidence? Maybe that's just all coincidence. But there's always a big conspiracy when these mass shootings happen, because they're always, they always happen at opportunistic times. Especially when there's a push for gun control, there's always seemed to be one that just spouts off. That's up to your interpretation if you think that's happening. Now, here's the thing. What's funny is an assault weapons ban would not have prevented this because he already had one. So what she really means is an assault weapons confiscation. And let's just say, for sake of arguments, he never had first off, she can't define an assault weapon. It's dumb. But second of all, like, say that there was a ban. The assault weapons bans generally like AR-15s, stuff like that. It doesn't, it's not handguns. So if he came in with a handgun and shot everyone up, would that really be a big difference? Like, assault weapons ban, it's not going to do anything. No gun control law ever ends up preventing anything. Gun control laws are dumb. They don't end up preventing anything. They don't really help that much either. Because, well, he wasn't adjudicated mentally, but this guy clearly mentally disturbed. Government didn't do much. They didn't try and charge him being mentally adjudicated and remove his ability to own firearms. So the government really didn't do anything. They just ended up getting, I don't even know if they even did anything to get him committed, but he spent 2 weeks in a mental health facility. That's it. Hearing voices, threatening to shoot up military base. I don't know. It's a strange circumstances is going on. But what can you do? So, we'll follow this. We'll see if, more comes up of it. If he ends up being the one that committed the act, which, again, it more than likely appears to be, then hopefully they get him caught fast and he doesn't hurt anyone else. All right. So we covered yesterday, Libs a TikTok account owner, Shia Raichik, and her outrage at being placed on the glossary of extremism and threatening to sue the ADL with defamation. Well, a spokesperson, let's first read that. Spokesperson for the ADL acknowledged Raichik's threat in a statement to the advocate. We are aware of her demands and are investigating. We do not comment on matters regarding actual threatening litigation. So there you go. That's all the real update is. But, an ADL spokesperson says, yeah, we're aware of it and we're looking into it. So there we go. All right. And then from yesterday as well, we also covered those two teens laughing their ass off, thinking the world is hilarious and flipping off the families of retired police officers that they killed. Well, there's some new footage and it kind of shows how cocky they are and how much the world has, or Democrats really have emboldened these people. So this is a body cam footage of after the driver. I believe it's the driver who was arrested shortly before or shortly after the incident. All right. So let's see.
I'm not scared. You are.
He's not
100%. You think this juvenile gonna do something? I'll be out in like 30 days. What? I bet you.
I bet you.
Juvie in 30 days and moved over to an adult jail. Because that's how bad it is.
It's just in hit and run, slap on the wrist. I see the report. I'm not scared.
You are.
Well, that guy I don't think is understanding his predicament. Let's rewind that. He's like, it's just a hit and run, just a slap on the wrist. It ain't nothing. It ain't no big deal. Okay, I'll be out in 30 days. Watch, bet. Okay. Well, let's see. Okay. So let's see. So, it's ain't nothing, just a slap of wrist, ain't no big deal. Okay. So he's been in jail at the very least since the 27th, probably longer than that, or 26th. 22nd. So it's been roughly since September 22nd. Oh, okay. Sorry. No, it's been since August 14th. So this was August 14th that Jesus Ayala, I don't know, was arrested. So August 14th. Okay. Motherfucker is 18 talking about juvie. What the fuck are you talking about? No, you going real jail, motherfucker. So he was arrested August 14th. It is October 26th. So it's been more than 30 days, motherfucker. So I guess you were wrong. And, that's big. It ain't no big deal. And not only, he's like, it's just a hit and run. Well, since this, recording and everything, it has been turned into a hit and run to murder. It's been a charge. He's got a murder charge because this was an intentional act of murder, really. Because if you look at it, look what happened. He's like, hey. They were like, bet, you won't, or go, and like, I'm gonna hit this guy. Yeah, watch, and all that shit. So there's like some intentionality behind it. It wasn't, hit and run. I think is far more. It's generally like something that happens on accident, and then you run afterwards. More of it. Probably not the actual legal definition, but it wasn't just a simple hit and run. And as of like I said, and this that video was like a while ago. It was a while ago. But even now, it's pretty clear that they're not taking this seriously at all, and they think this is just a giant big joke. Let's see. And they just had their trial date set, I believe. Hold on. Yeah, so they've been charged with murder, attempted murder, failing to stop at the scene of a car crash, battery, residential burglary, grand larceny of vehicle, and possession of a stolen vehicle. Both have pled not guilty. Come on, dudes. Like, come on. Like, look, I know that's a standard thing. Like, I know that's a thing. Like, I know that's a standard thing. You always plead not guilty. But come on. Like, come on, dude. Like, look, you're a moron. And you're a moron because you videotaped it all. So there's no alleging, there's no not guilty. You clearly did it. You're saying, hey, we're gonna get this guy. Yeah, let's do it. Like, this is so dumb. These guys getting a trial. I think it's too early for a trial. I don't know. Anyways, there we go. So, I mean, look, I know that's a standard thing. You always plead not guilty regardless. It hopes that you'll get a deal from the DA. I don't think a DA is going to actually extend any deal. Really. Maybe like a, maximum charge, except that. Because here's the thing. They got video of these teens enjoying every minute of it, thinking it's a grand old time. And actually, encouraging them to do it. So, and you can't really predict juries. So that may be a little cocky, but they got video of them encouraging to do it and then thinking it's hilarious. And then plus their behavior in court. So, you know what I'm willing to bet, though? I'm betting they're both raised by a single mom. Willing to bet. All right, let's move on. Fucking idiots. Plead not guilty. Whatever. Biden losing ground to Trump in former president's home state after influx of illegal migrants. President Joe Biden lead over his most likely rival, Donald Trump, is steadily eroding in the. Oh, I think I already covered this. Did I cover this yesterday? I think I covered this. Hold on. Let me just check out my video from yesterday. I think I covered this. Okay, yeah, I covered this, so never mind. All right, I thought this was something different. I covered this already. So we're going to move on from this, actually. No big deal. It is what it is. What can you do? All right. Well, since we're not going to talk about Biden, let's talk about Trump. So Trump storms out of his civil fraud trial after facing off with foe Michael Cohen. Trump was called to testify for the first time in New York trial and was fined $10,000 for violating his gag order again. Donald Trump stormed out of a New York City courtroom Wednesday after a heated day in court in which the former president was called to the witness stand in his $25 million state fraud case and fined $10,000 for violating a gag order. Here's the thing. This is really dumb. This fraud thing. Because look, when his estate was valued was, I believe, during the time he was a sitting president he was like a sitting president. That obviously needs to factor in how much a place is going to value. Let's say my house, all right? If I lived in a house, but I became a very prominent, sitting president, whatever, my house value would go up just sheerly due to the fact of my status among people. Even serial killers' houses, they go up in value just because, it's I'm pretty sure Jeffrey Dahmer's parents' house or grandmother's house went up in value just by the sheer publicity of what happened when it came to Jeffrey Dahmer. Probably the same with BTK and et cetera, et cetera. Of course, whatever. It's This is just dumb. Trump's abrupt departure appeared to surprise even his own lawyers and a Secret Service agent who went scurrying after him. He returned to courtroom in Manhattan after the court date ended and after his former lawyer, Michael Cohen, finished his contentious testimony. Judge Arthur Engorn handed down the financial penalty after having called Trump to testify under oath in the afternoon about whom he was talking about when he told reporters earlier in the day. But the person sitting next to the judge was very partisan. Trump said he was referring to Cohen, who he called a rat, a liar, and a felon. Engorner asked Trump whether he previously referred to his law clerk as partisan. And Trump said, maybe unfair. I think she's very biased against us. I think we've made it that clear, Trump added. But Trump insisted he was referring to Cohen when he told reporters earlier that Engorn is a very partisan judge with a person who's very partisan sitting alongside him. Perhaps even much more partisan than he is. Engorn's law clerk sits next to him and has been a subject of complaints from the Trump team, including earlier Wednesday when Trump's lawyer, Alhina Abba, asked there be no eye rolls or whispers from the bench during her questioning of Cohen. Engorn said whether he generally referred to Cohen by his full name. No, Trump responded. Trump's lawyer, Chris Kissy, added that Trump would normally call him worse names. Engorn said he found Trump's brief testimony not credible. He fined Trump for violating the gag order he issued this month after Trump had smeared his law clerk on social media. A red-faced and angry-looking Trump stormed out of the courtroom about 45 minutes later after Engorn denied a motion for his lawyers on a separate legal issue. Trump's lawyer, Cliff Robert, had seized on Conan's testimony that Trump never explicitly instructed him to inflate his financial statements to ask Engorn for a direct verdict dismissing the state attorney's general claims about the statement, which Engorn refused. That's kind of common. They generally always refuse a direct verdict. The abrupt departure appeared to catch even his lawyers, even his attorneys, by surprise and caused gas throughout the courtroom. The witness just admitted that we won the trial and the judge should end this trial immediately. Thank you, Trump told reporters after he left. Under questioning from the state attorney general's office, Conan testified later that Trump didn't specifically tell him to inflate the numbers, and he said he was like a mob boss who tells you what he wants without directly telling you. So dumb. When Conan wrapped up his fiery 2 days on the witness stand, Robert again asked Engorn for a direct verdict, request he said was absolutely denied. This case has credible evidence all over the place, said the judge, who had already ruled that Trump engaged in persistent fraud with his financial statements. There's enough evidence in this court case to fill this courtroom, he added. Okay, sure. Cohen told reporters after he left the courtroom they wanted to make a motion to dismiss the case, to which the judge responded, yeah, absolutely not. You know why? Because he will ultimately be held accountable. State Attorney General Letitia James said Conan, who admitted to having previously lied under oath in court and to Congress while he was on the witness stand, is not the main witness in this case. She added his evidence has been corroborated by a mountain of evidence. Trump's lawyers had earlier asked Conan to reconsider the fine, again containing the partisan person Trump referred to was Conan. Kiss said Trump has been focused on Cohen's testimony and an argument Engorn didn't buy, noting that the cross-examination of Conan had focused on past contradictory statements with no discussion of his political leanings. The focal point was his dishonest, not that he was some partisan Democrat, Engorn said. The ruling stands, he said, telling Trump, you're fined $10,000 again. Don't do it or it will be worse. It is the second time Engorn has fined Trump for violating the gag order. Gag order is dumb, by the way. Engorn issued the order on the second day of the trial after Trump posted on True Social a different user's Instagram post showing the lawyer at an event where she posed with Senator Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, Democratic New York. In his post, Trump falsely insinuated that the clerk had a personal relationship with Schumer and then pointed it out to reporters during a break in the trial. You saw what just got just put out about Schumer and the principal clerk is that it's disgraceful. Schumer office has called the post ridiculous and absurd and false. Enger ordered Trump to take down the despairing and untrue post, which he said he was concerned would lead to threats and violence. Consider this gag order on all parties with respect to posting or publicly speaking about any members of my staff. Personal attacks on members of my court staff are unacceptable, inappropriate, and won't tolerate it. Last week, Engor said he was learned that the official post, fitting post, has remained on Trump's campaign website for 17 days. Kissing told Engor the post had been automatic and was truly inadvertent. Engern fined Trump $5,000, warned a written decision that future violations, whether intentional or unintentional, will subject to the violator to far more severe sanctions, which may include, but not limited to, steeper financial penalties, holding Donald Trump in contempt of court, and possibly imprisoning him. Look, if you take something to trial, you should be open to criticism. I have a whole article on the Ghislaine Maxwell thing, but I really don't want to get into it because it's long, boring, ridiculous. Basically, here's what it is: Ghislaine Maxwell ends fight to keep 8 John Doe's secret. Court to decide whether names should be unsealed. Basically, she gave names to the court and says it's up to you, court, if you want to unseal them. The fact that Wait, is this old? This might be old. Oh, this is old. What the fuck? Okay, then why was that just... Oh my god, that's what happens sometimes. Okay, whatever. Apparently it's old news. Never mind. Forget about it. Not that important anymore. All right, here we go. So, let's listen to this. So, if you have kids in elementary school in Colorado, probably have some concerns at this point. I'm going to turn down the speed because I don't really care for it. So, need help exploring your gender identity? We do not need your parents' permission to talk with you. Yes, you fucking do. My family is great at pointing out my faults. My life is full of pressures and expectations. 9-year-old children text talk to number on poster. Child asks for full name, date of birth, gender pronouns, and zip code. Child connected to Colorado crisis specialist without parents' permission. 9-year-old shares she feels sad, thinks she's transgender, and does not want her mom to find out. I is assured that the conversation will be confidential and the specialist will help her with resources to explore her gender. So these people are not only interacting, but are interacting with these kids and are actively attempting to kids that aren't theirs. They're not related. These are minors. So what the fuck is this shit? These are, oh my god. If you're a parent, you need to seriously start thinking about whether you're actually going to let your kids be in public school at this point, because this is just getting really ridiculous. We have weirdos who are being contacted by minors and talking to minors about their gender identity that are not related to said minors and have no connection to said minors, except the fact that they, texted a number that's posted at their goddamn school. And then they get some random fucking, they ask random fucking questions like, have you had any suicidal thoughts? Without the person actually even mentioning suicidal thoughts. It's weird. This is just weird. Why are you letting why is a school allowing minors to contact random people that you don't know who are, don't know the identity of, or anything like that, and letting them contact them about gender? They're 9 years old. They shouldn't care about gender or anything like that. Dude, this is just ridiculous. Dude, I swear to God, if I found out my daughter, when she goes, if she went to public school, if she ever goes to public school, I should be accurate, ends up, and their school ends up, having this thing where they can contact random adults without my goddamn knowledge about their so-called gender, I'm burning down the goddamn school. No, I'm not really going to burn down the school. I'm going to take my kid out of the school, though. But this is just weird. Why is it that this is so important, so good to do, yet you have to do it in secret? It's so good, but you do it in secret. And you go, oh, well, because parents aren't going to understand. They're not going to allow it. Yeah, because it's not a good thing. Like, parents generally want the good for their children. And if a majority of parents don't think this is good, it's not your job in any way to say, I disagree. I'm going to, go get behind your back and do it anyways. This is just weird. All this shit is weird. Why do you want to talk to kids? This is weird. All right. That's all I got for you today. Probably going to go to bed for a little bit and then go and watch my daughter and take care of her and shit. Because my wife has some hospital stuff she's got to do. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Make sure to like and subscribe. Follow me on rumble.com/withghost. And then my gaming channel, rumble.com/gamingwithghost. Check me out there. I hope you all have a good day. Peace out. See you later.